Hello,
Hello.
hello, you two. How's everyone?
I'm all right, thank you. Yeah.
How are you, Shareva?
I'm good. I'm in my my niece's bedroom with all her stuffed animals. I
Oh,
have two,
okay. So that's
so
not
I
your
have
room.
no, I'm surrounded by children's toys. It's great.
Keeping you youthful. That's good.
Yeah.
Gosh, what a busy week. Do you know what? The more I do this PLC, the more it kind of gets into focus for me where we're at currently. You know, when we started this way back last year in February, well, and before with Paul. It's a sort of microcosm because actually, since it started, I had a nice sort of enthusiastic partner who turned out to be, something different, and so discovered, a bit of, shenanigans, and I had to get clear that out, and I had responsibilities. So when you put yourself out there and you have people who are invested in you, you can't be you can't be insincere and you can't be wishy-washy with things because people are putting their good money into this, and I want them to get a reward from that, but for doing that, and it's a long process, so it's kind of trying to keep everyone's enthusiasm going, which is quite difficult at the moment because we're under that fascist kind of regime. It's from many angles in many countries, and so it kind of puts a bit more of a focal point on what we're doing. Because I was thinking about it. This PLC is an idea, really, that you can't kill because wherever someone learns about PLC, it's gathering a community, really, um, and you can't destroy that with the sort of fascist, slavery system, because it will always spring up somewhere.
Mm.
So even though I've kind of, you know, described the modern iteration of it, it's going to pop up with communities all over the world anyway. And the actual net effect of all this kind of darkness is pushing people to the light. It's making people go, I don't want any of this. I want something a bit better than this. I want a nice society, kind of thing. So yeah, it's very interesting because each week, I'm trying to tell people in so many different kind of ways that they can take control of their lives. They don't have to keep treading water. They don't have to think that they're alone. They don't have to think that you know, they they have to conform or be coerced to the system. So, but it's I can only say that in so many ways, but it's down to the individual to kind of pick that up and take proactive action because a lot of the people at the moment I'm seeing are kind of just treading water. They're going, oh, I don't know where to go. I don't know what to do, what to invest my energies into. But that's because they're looking at the 3D systems still, and all those systems are crumbling. They're not kind of looking to the 5D, self empowerment. I can do this myself with a group of other people that have got the same motivation. So it's a case of kind of, really, we're not out to kind of convince anyone that we are, that you should be doing the things that we're doing, because it's not about that. We're here just as a flower that if bees come across, then they can land on us and enjoy our wonderful nectar, kind of thing, and we can hopefully help their hives wherever they fly off to, kind of thing. If you look at it in that analogy. So the nice thing about PLC is that all of you guys who are members and stuff are maintaining that frequency, that harmonic, because there's so many different frequencies. We've all got our own, but generally we've all got a code of conduct, which is to be loving, to be kind, to be ethical, to be sharing. Unity consciousness, heart-based sort of stuff. So that takes quite a lot of energy to maintain that consistency over years, and actually grow that system out as well, which is what we're doing. We're developing it more and more so that we have more and more resources, and can give more and more support to each individual member. So yeah, it's really tough out there at the moment, but there are alternatives, you know, like the PLC. You don't have to be alone. You don't also have to tread water. You can, you know, explore your passions and your ideas, and maybe think about making your own enterprise, you know, or doing that collectively with people. You may kind of, you know, I'm noticing a lot of people are talking about health hubs and well-being events. You know, there's lots of sort of ex-NHS staff, doctors and nurses that, you know, probably really desperate to work and earn money and do their skills and help people, but there's no particular outlets. So that's why kind of places like PLC are really good, because you can have all these health hubs and you can have them in a community hub, and it's like a one-stop kind of mall shop, you know, wherever you want to go you can seek advice from, but not only just seek advice, you can kind of get involved. You know, you can meet the people that are actually doing and growing things, producing things, selling things, helping with lawful advice, helping with community advice, and all those sorts of things. So, you know, that's what's going to be so lovely about spring next year, when we have our big, huge marquee up there, and, you know, those lovely 5 zones that people can, you know, the public can just walk in and have a well-being chat, or find out about their lawful situation, how they can kind of resist tyrannical kind of bailiffs, etc. So it's just positive stuff all round, but, you know, maintaining that kind of frequency of that harmonic is quite challenging at the moment, because it's so, you know, difficult for people. You know, people are just surviving at the moment. They're being kicked out of their homes, they're being put upon by the government, they're all these sorts of things. And it's really, it's a case of, I keep thinking back to that one kind of picture of, you know, a shoal of fish that looks like a shark, and it's against the other smaller fish, or just the one big kind of shark. And it's kind of that analogy, really. If we all kind of hang together and talk about the things that we want to create, and do that in a positive way by not dwelling on the horrible stuff, then we just manifest more of that good stuff. It's quite a simple dynamic. But, you know, people being on their own, not knowing who to talk to, what community to get involved in, not looking proactively at themselves as being the agent of change. You know, we really want to help people individually, because then those individuals collectively bring about that abundance. So yeah, so that's my little ramble about positive living communities. You know, it's such a lovely gathering each week, seeing all these beautiful, positive, proactive people, and going around and hearing what, you know, what wonderful stuff you're broadcasting out into the world. So I'll start with Shareva, your top left. So so how's your studio going, the work and stuff? Are you getting more people there?
Yes, it's good. It's good. I'm starting of gathering my students, and they're excited to take private lessons or to join in the adult class. And I'm going to start working at another studio in October. I want to get more experience,
Ah,
just more experience with other aerial instructors to kind of bounce ideas off of them. And yeah, so it's good. I'm having a good time, and it's slowly growing. I didn't want to jump in too strong, too much, because I felt like an imposter, you know, the imposter complex when you first start something.
well, imposters can't, you know, sustain you know, their mask. It falls off. But
Yeah.
you've had, what's nice about you is that you started with a studio that you were just training on your own for your own kind of purposes. And this is about the ikigai thing again, about finding your purpose. And now you're teaching students, and you're hiring it out to professionals. You know, so
Yeah.
that's like an example of taking your own enterprise and making money for yourself. And it's the same for other people in the PLC as well, who are coming up with great ideas that they know their skills can do, and they've got a passion for. So you're a really good example of how, you know, taking the bull by the horns and you know, rolling with it, and actually, you know, reaping the rewards, which are more people coming back to your studio, you know, word getting out, and, you know, you're able to kind of train as well. So win-win-win. I kind of, I guess. So yeah, brilliant.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Shareva. That's excellent to hear. Heather, you're next. You popped up on the screen. How are you?
There we go. Hi, good
Hi.
evening.
Hi.
If I suddenly drop out, it's because my internet is a bit wonky here, but
I like the
um
cartwheeling camera. That's nice. The camera going round and round a couple of times.
yeah, it's a bit, I think it's the weather. I'm right in the middle of the countryside, and I think it's the weather's affected the Wi-Fi. Yeah, I'm good. I've not really been doing anything specific in my community because I've been, of course, at the Shine, and then I was at Hope, volunteering down at the Hope. And amazingly enough, after my workshop at the Shine, 4 people have signed up to do my online
Brilliant.
course. Delighted about. And you were saying earlier about like so many people are not sure what to do, but really doing something like the light language, or I'm also just launching my Reiki one now, which is just literally come in and completely chill out, because it's to get that inner power back for people that I think is crucial at this time. Absolutely crucial.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I'll talk about that later on at the end of the this recording before we go. So yeah, absolutely.
That's really important. I've had a little run-in with the TV licensing people. So I don't, you couldn't pay me to watch the TV, but however, probably about 2 weeks ago, I got a letter in the post. The great big letters, red letters. You have been visited. Oh, that's exciting.
Ooh.
I've been waiting for a visitation for years. And I had to open it up, but it just made me really mad anyway. I ripped up and put it in the bin. When I got back from Hope, there was a letter, another one, and I love it, the way they put these big capital letters and everything like that. What's that going to do? Telling me that my case has been escalated.
Ooh.
Oh, I
Oh
didn't know I
no.
had. It's good. But anyway, I didn't do, obviously I've not done anything about it. But interestingly enough, on this letter, after it tells you could get this fine and this and blah, 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 it gives you 2 ways of paying. It doesn't give you a way to say that you don't need a license. Not that I would have got in
I
contact
think
with them anyway.
Jane's got an answer to that.
Well,
You
anyway,
give them you ring them up, Heather, and tell
I'm
them you
not
don't
ringing.
need one.
No, Jane, I'm not ringing them up. I'm not having any contact with them at all, because then they'll want my name. So they're not having my name.
Do you have a TV?
No,
So you don't watch any live television anyway.
no.
So
But
you could
anyway,
say to anyone who visited, come in, have a look around. I don't have live TV. What do you want about? Go away.
so absolutely don't invite anybody into your house.
If you know what I
So for
mean. Obviously you can say, look through the window. Don't actually invite them in, but you can say, prove to me that you've got recordings of me using television. If you
well,
really need to at the door,
I spoke to PC Davy because, funnily enough, I just bumped into him again at Hope. If anybody has any issue, I would highly recommend them, the Peace Constables. He's such a nice man, and he said simply, don't even open the door. If
Yeah,
it's somebody's door, you don't open it. And if you do open the door, all you do is you say, I'm not interested, thank you very much, and close the door. And don't engage, because what they will try and do is they'll try and get people to fill in a form and get you to sign it.
yeah. Or put their foot in the door, and then that's like gaining access, because
But
it's
that's
like,
illegal. That's illegal. So if you have your phone, you take a picture of them.
yeah.
It's illegal for them to do
It's
that. But
demanding menaces, money via menaces, and using paper terrorism to do that. So, yeah, the more you can kind of tell them, your rights, and that, they've got not a case to stand on. If you do have to engage with them, then they can't do anything about it, can they?
no. But if anybody else was having any questions, they can deal with all sorts of things. And Davey is such a nice guy. And I think the website is called Peace Constables. There's
Okay.
all sorts of information. It might be helpful for people.
Yeah, absolutely. Because also you'll be able to say you consulted with that PC as well if needs be. But it
No,
shouldn't come to that.
I won't talk to them, Matt. They're not.
Yeah.
I'm just say I'm not interested and close the
And
door.
and well, actually, some people talk from the first floor, so they don't even go
Yeah,
downstairs. They open their window and talk from the first floor as well.
yeah,
So there is that. Well, it's interesting. I mean, this is again another example of criminals basically trying to extract money and menaces from ordinary people. So that
exactly.
if you know how to deal with that, then great. And that's partly also as well why we've got this conversation each week, because in Jane's case, did you ring them up and actually cancel yours?
I had a TV license, and I rang them up to cancel it. And because I did it that way round, they've never contacted me again.
Good, good.
Uh,
Well, there's ways and means,
they
and
have.
obviously there's no one way of doing things, and it's whatever anyone prefers, sort of thing. And obviously
So
it's
yeah, when I originally cancelled my TV license, which is about 4 years ago, they tell you they'll only give you 2 years. So after 2 years, they contacted me again. So this is probably my next 2 years. So I think that's great. They've not contacted Jane again, but they've definitely been in touch with me.
okay.
My 2 years.
Well, if they get in touch again, just tell them you haven't got anything, and you're happy to, defend yourself and say, that you don't need one. Thank you very much. Because if you actually look at it, the BBC is a business that is contracted, so it's a corporation. So it's actually a business, and any business from the Finance Act, has to give you a receipt, or if it's demanding money, it has to say what it's for. So but they can't extort you for money, because that's a criminal offence. And
No.
yet they are a wing of the government, really a propaganda wing of the government. So they're in bed with the government, and the government do want them to push and demand money for this license, although it's unlawful, and although in the digital age people aren't using BBC anymore because it's a corrupt channel. So yeah, it's interesting times, and well, I do hope that gets resolved. But it's just another example of all the sorts of crap that various kind of criminals are being put on the public at the moment, and that's why it's important that we have these lovely gatherings, so we can share
Yeah.
information. Something that's worked for someone may help someone else on the call, sort of thing. So I appreciate that, Heather. Anything else to do with so how long's your course for?
Which course? Oh, my
Your
course. My light language course is for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So it's all about going into the heart. And what I'm finding, because it's one-to-one, is that in between people have some tasks to do,
Yeah.
and then it's amazing what's coming up and how I'm able to help people process what comes up in between. So
Brilliant.
it's really lovely.
Do you want to put
Um,
your link in the chat so that other people can look at what you're doing as well? Because that would be nice to see for other people to look at your work.
yeah,
It-
that would be lovely. Thank you.
okay, cool. Thanks, Heather. Nice to see you.
Thank you.
Hi,
Bye.
Jane.
Hiya.
Hey, grand hostess. How's your week been?
It's been good. We had our monthly PLC Helston gathering on Saturday, which was very positive. Everybody's wanting to move into the next phase, so we've kind of got things in the pipeline, just kind of talking. I think probably we won't move much into it until after Christmas, but we're processing how we're going to move forward. And we talked about the Sovereign project, which Demelza is 3/4 of the way through the first course, and she's just got it. She's absolutely got the language. She's focused right in on it. and she's going to do the second course, which is great. And I've signed up to do it now as well. And Sue is going to do it. I just thought the more of us that actually have access to that information, the better, really.
Absolutely. The more ways that we can bring power back to people so that they're self-governing and they've got their kind of morals and ethics and code of conduct in, you know, in their set in their minds, the better, because then, you know, the less stress in the external for them, you know. So yeah, great. It's really nice to hear that you're kind of focusing now. You've got this is a kind of good flow, because it's a good example. You've put the word out in your local area. You had some people and friends join you for the first gatherings. Then as those kind of moved along, it's like, well, you know, we can have tea and cake or every time that we join and just have a good old knees up. But actually, you know, we're here for something a bit more. And so it's moved on beyond that kind of just social gathering thing to where you're starting to talk about the ideas and things that you guys would like to see in your community, particularly with the health kind of flavour, to now starting to kind of visualise and talk about specifics, which is great. Kind of the next steps really are like, you know, actually putting things in place in the physical. But obviously so many variables in place, so how you do that is how you do that sort of thing. But it's good to show other people the example of PLC Helston, because, you know, that's how it should flow organically, because it's not like a movement, or it's not like a kind of trend. It's just people, you know, realizing that they can't really invest in the old system. They have to do something a bit more positive about the future. And so it's you know, a space there for people to start finding, because you're literally laying out that sacred space, even if it's words and just gathering in a cafe for the start, but you're seeding those ideas, and that's lovely, you know. From that, obviously, if it works well, if those dynamics work well, more stuff will come with that as well. So great to hear.
Well, we're looking for a more permanent place to meet, because we've been meeting here, but I don't want everybody to invite people here. We want to have somewhere, and a cafe is fine, but if you stick an advert into the group, Helston group or something, and we have 20 or 30 people turn up, that's not going to work in a cafe. So we're looking for a hall of some sort where we can meet to begin with. We've probably got the idea for where we might have wellness days, or actually have our hub, because there are village halls around which are available, but they're only available on Saturdays for that sort of thing, not for regular meetings. So we'll find somewhere.
I'm sure you will. I know what you're like. You're tenacious. That's really good to hear. And the more we kind of talk about this nice example of just people getting together and then starting to get a bit more focused, and then actually starting to be a bit more proactive, the better, because it kind of seeds everyone else who's on the call as well, you know, to put the call out to their communities and do something similar sort of thing. So and then the kind of next steps are up from that are the economy, you know, the holistic economy, because once you've got kind of a place and a cafe that's earning money, or practitioners that you're paying, you know, for their services to help the public, then or a market, say, with producers, etc., then that's the economy starting to roll, you know, and the energy starting to flow as well. So great, good to hear. Thank you. So who have we got next? Is that Robin? No, what's that? Sorry, my eyesight's terrible. I'm going cross-eyed.
Robin.
Hello, everybody.
Robin. Hi.
Hi. I was just busy typing a message to Heather. I tried to open her link and it wouldn't let me open. It said I didn't have permission. So I'm in New Zealand and I'm running a local PHA, which is the People's Health Alliance, and it's going amazingly well. So I just sort of thought, well, I don't really know what to tell you, but everyone runs theirs differently, and mine runs with the blessings of my practitioners who give a day to the community once a month. And I have a roster, so I don't call on them every month. I call on them about every 3 months. And people who come put $25 in the Angels pot. And at the end of the day, I'm able to give the practitioners $20 towards their fuel for coming. And they're happy with that. Everybody brings a plate and we have a big shared lunch. And that's where lots of people just open up and share things that they don't dare talk about normally. So many people sit there saying, oh my God, you people talk about the things that nobody talks about. And that's the beauty of it all. It's been quite interesting that, there's a lot of energy workers involved, and energy work is something people don't see, they believe, but they don't know. But I've just introduced the foot spa back in April, and people are just horrified and amazed at what comes out of their feet. But it's bringing so many people in, they can see it. It's something physical, something they're actually doing something, and they can see the results. So it's been like a huge draw card. So it's been wonderful. And I bought a red light therapy lamp for my husband, and I take that across to my healing clinic, or my garage. It's a big double garage, which luckily has got carpet on the floor and it's got a ceiling in it. And it converts into whatever I want to convert it into these days. I've held lots of functions in there, and we've done lots of workshops, and there's a beautiful energy in there now. So when it becomes a health hub, everybody comments on the beautiful energy there. So it's just growing as time's gone by. And I've also started introducing a speaker each week, and that speaker just talks at the end of the lunch around the table. So it's informal, but it's just,
that's nice. That's really nice, because it's like you're going to a dinner party and then someone's talking at the end, sort of thing. I like that.
Yeah. So it's all ticking along nicely, and I can only have 5 practitioners in my space, and I can only allow them to do 3 healings a day because that's all their energy can do. So we've been getting 10 or 12 people, and that's plenty, because by the time they're allowed to have 2 sessions, one energy session and one foot spa or red light therapy. Or I also put out the tuning forks, so people can self administer the tuning forks. I just show them with, I've got a drawing there that says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do this.
That's fun. Yeah.
So it's just other ways of them taking ownership of their own healing.
That's brilliant. That's really nice to hear. You guys are ahead of the game with your community hubs, and obviously we're affiliated with People's Health Alliance. So it's lovely to hear how it's actually proof of concept. It's actually, this is not a utopian kind of fantasy stuff. This is real life, real people getting together or getting organized and actually creating a much better system that's more, heart-based, more individually kind of catered sort of care and holistic, looking at all of the aspects of a person. So it's lovely to hear how your day-to-day running or your month-to-month running is going, and how that is actually growing. And it's actually quite nice as well to hear you've got a way of doing things that works. The people keep coming back, so that's showing you've got a growing energy system again. So that's really lovely. And
the thing I'm most excited about is, like I started it with all my friends, and who are all older ladies, but we've got younger ones coming in now. And last week, 2 young practitioners came in and wanted to be involved with us. And I'm going overseas next week and away for 5 weeks, and it's got to run without me for the first time. So it's still in my garage, and I've got people sitting in my house so that they can run it. and it's just going to be fun to see how it works when I'm not there, because that's what you want, isn't it? You want it to carry on without you. So it's going to be a test, but it'll be fun. But these two young people that came in, they're so full of enthusiasm. They're so full of, oh, they could do this and they could carry on that. So it's exciting.
See, this is the benefits of having, you know, an actual hub, a base, rather than this sort of digital stuff, because you can, you know, people can start using it and it can start flowing. And actually, speaking of which, I'm going away on the so our last PLC call for this month will be next week, the 10th. That will be the members call, and then we start up again on the 1st of October, and that will be the open public call. So just putting that out there, because I need to go on a mission, and so I'm going to be away as well. So it's going to be interesting to see how it kind of holds together without me. And we're not going to have the public calls unless, Jane, you want to host them. But putting you on the spot. But you don't have to. I mean, there's the PLC Telegram, you know, members site. So we can all keep in contact with each other 24/7 anyway, as we do. But yeah, just to say that there won't be two. The week after next, there won't be one, and then I think I'm missing another one, aren't I? Two, yeah, we're missing two. So it's going to be interesting to return to see how everyone has been in that break. So that'll be good, and you know, it'll be a test as well to see how it kind of PLC holds together. But I'm very confident it will, because it doesn't need much. Kind of we put it together so it doesn't need too much maintenance. He said, looking at Jane, she's fine with that. Yeah, she doesn't. So yeah, it's one of those things. If you're creating these holistic systems, you're not the leader because you don't believe in a, you know, top-down hierarchy. So it's kind of all Mexicans around the fire, and if one of the Mexicans who's been kind of setting it up the fire has to go away for a while, you kind of hope the other Mexicans are going to be kind of like tending the fire while you're away. So I know exactly what you mean, and but it's good though, because then it means that you're not kind of like trying to play be the leader, and you're passing that flame to everyone to hold, sort of thing. So yeah, another good way of testing your systems is to know that other people can kind of take the slack while you kind of have to do your thing, whatever that is, sort of thing. So, and it's also a testament to say that, you know, everyone is equally involved, and there's no one leader running the shop, kind of thing, because that's old 3D style. So yeah, good. Thank you. It's nice to hear from you, and I look forward to hearing more from you if you ever join the call again. That'd be great. Thank you. Justina, is that Justina on the call? Yes, it is. Another lovely example of Ikigai.
Hi,
hi, Justina.
hi.
Justina started, was doing her work and wanted to do something different and a bit more. And I was like, well, what can you do? And she started showing me some artworks, and I was saying, well, this is really good. Why don't you get more into that? And since then, you're flourishing, aren't you? You're doing some really lovely artworks, and you're selling your art. And what's really nice as well is you're getting reviews as well from people who are saying, hey, I saw Justina's art, and it was like, it gave me loads of really good vibes and everything. So it's a really nice example, you know. You guys are pulling, you know, cutting those cords of attachment to the old system. You're pulling back your power. You're gaining, you know, more light, more resources, more resilience, and you're starting to earn money. So, you know, that's proof of concept. How's your week been?
Thank you. It was quite interesting, especially the lady where I kept my and selling my artwork. She just told that I was almost like half of them was sold out, and
Wow.
when I was actually noticed, every time I have a jump in my growth or awakening, you know, the spiritual journey, that all artworks sold out, so that they are still connect with me even after I give them out. So I got codes. People have a codes, light codes, same time. It's quite funky to explain. I don't know how they still connect with me, but from the source through me, connect with the people. I don't know. It's so bizarre feeling, but very happy, and some interesting people. I think the Star Family people.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
yeah, so I told you that funny story when I was just cycling on my bike in daytime. As normal, I have the lights on, and some like a lady, French lady, just shouted at me, "Love, your light is on." And I never saw her before. And after that, she just gone. And when I'm back from home from work, I just had a massive like a download, and I did like a 5 artworks straight away.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's so fun, but sometimes, you need to push forward, like with everything. And also with my health, I'm kind of dive into understanding why I have anemia, and it's like on and on. But it's more like it's okay, let's have the answer. And so many stuff also come in, like my childhood trauma appear from nowhere with the breathing. Oh my God, that was so funny. Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, a lot of this is part of the way things are going at the moment. As we're becoming more aware of the dark kind of narratives, they're coming
Oh.
to the light in the public kind of scene. But not only that, as you start working on yourself, doing your sort of shadow work, working on your triggers, all that sort of gunk comes up to the surface in each one of us for us to kind of face. It's part of that bringing those toxins, as well as there's actual physical toxins. It's the sort of psychological toxins that we aren't necessarily aware that we're kind of, that we have until they kind of come and rear their heads. So that's good that you're becoming aware of, say, your triggers or the issues that you need to work on, and that whether that's health or whether that's psychology or your situation or your relationships, that's all coming up to for review, if you like,
Yeah.
because really we are getting rid of all those kind of nefarious kind of stories, nefarious kind of people, those toxic fake kind of environments and situations. So I'm not surprised that certain things will come up again, but
Yeah.
that's a sign that you're actually ascending, because they'd still be stuck down there and you'd still be repressing them if you weren't kind of pulling back those energy cords of entanglement, if you weren't cutting them and bringing back your power. So it's good to
About
become aware of
coaching.
them, and then it's working on them once you're aware
Yeah.
of them.
Yeah.
But that's it's taking your own health into your own hands as well. And this is what loads of people who are doing the wellness stuff or the health hubs, they're saying, well, actually we're giving, it's not about believing in the authority of the medicines, the doctors, and telling you what to do. It's actually a conversation between two equals, not this sort of hierarchical or false authority. And so when people often actually find that they know the solution to their own health, as well, when they do that as well, because you're talking from a lot more kind of broader perspective with a healthcare professional who's also not so focused on their academic training, more has a more broader knowledge, and that includes allopathic stuff as well, or nutrition, which you don't often get with medical professionals in the allopathic fields. So yes, it's fascinating, and good that you're earning money as well, because then that can help to make you a bit more resilient, also by kind of materials and any health products that you need as well. So that's good, win-win.
Yeah. And just believe yourself that actually we all can do it. And finally you can actually see. That's interesting. Yeah.
Absolutely. Good stuff. Thanks,
Yeah.
Justina.
Thank you.
So who have we got next, Jane? Who have I missed? Have I got to everyone? I think we've got is
Here,
that
yeah.
Terry? Hi.
Terry Ann is
Terry
there
Ann.
somewhere.
Hi. You've got a strobing screen to me, and you're on mute. Technology, hey.
Oh, sorry. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Hi, Terry Ann.
Hiya.
How are you?
Oh, good, thank you. I put a comment on at the beginning. There's an app now for the crime, you know, for the lawful thing.
Oh, yes.
Richard Forbes did a video today about it, so that's quite good.
Okay, great. Yeah, Richard Rhodes is putting out a lot of good stuff.
Forbes, that's it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And well, you know, he's had trouble wranglings with the authorities who've tried to, you know, take his car and make him pay for it and all sorts, and the bills. So yeah, these you know, we still have human rights, we still have the Constitution, we still have Article 61. So there's things that we can do to, you know, rebut any kind of false or criminal claims on us. So yeah. So what drew you to us, to the PLC?
Well, I'm not very active because I'm doing something. I'm sort of sorting something out. But I'm very interested in community. So
Good stuff.
yeah. Yeah, I'm just popping in to see what's going on.
Yeah, well, we've got this lovely community. We've been going for a while, and every week we have the members call 1 week, and then the public open call like this week, and it alternates, and it's really nice because you get to hear about what people are up to, and we get a lot of members on the call, and we get to share, you know, what they've been up to each week, and they're all kind of being proactive and kind of coming out with the old 3D system and creating their communities together and stuff. So it's really good.
I was interested in hubs, but I didn't know like how to do it. I know you put up lots of information once, and your messages don't last long, and I forgot to snapshot it, and I thought, you've just told me everything, and now it's just gone. But that is the sort of thing that I'd be interested in doing.
Well, do have a look at the website. Yeah, we've got so if people join, there's a hub starter kit to help you sort of set up.
That's it. I've got to join first, and I haven't sorted a card or anything out, a bank card.
And yeah, that comes automatically. So it's like a 2-page document to help you get your community together and sort of some good ideas. And then after 3 months, you get the Hub Starter Kit 2. And then there's finally, after 6 months, Hub Starter Kit 3.
How much is it to start? Because I have to get someone to pay for me. I have to get someone to...
It's just £11 a month. So, and basically you get loads of resources and then the calls each week. Yeah, so we'd love to have you, you know, anyone interested in the community and getting together their community and starting up a hub of some kind would be great. The ideal kind of people that we're after. So yeah.
Oh, cool.
Are you in the UK?
No, I'm in Southern Ireland.
Oh, okay. Well, we've got people who join the call from Ireland as well, so that's good. So maybe you could. What's nice actually is when you have people who work out that they're living close to each other, they meet up, you know, outside of, you know, socially. So
did you say before that you were thinking of car stickers, or was I thinking of saying to you about having car stickers?
I think you were thinking of saying to me. I hadn't quite thought of car stickers, but that's a good one to get the awareness out there.
Yes, because people are quite nosy, aren't they? They see
absolutely,
us.
yeah. And the more awareness and the more we kind of talk about this stuff, the more, you know, we can excite people.
Do you know when it's going to explode? When the digital ID thing comes in for the supermarket? Because today I was in the little town there, and I was thinking, right, well, I'm going to have to get that in that shop and that in that shop, because I was thinking, how am I going to get all my shopping without going to the supermarket? And I went in and I spoke to the butcher, and I went in and I spoke to the lady that does like the cheap stuff, because I said to her, you know, I think you're going to get an explosion for things like this, you know, like the toilet rolls and stuff like that. And she looked at me like I was mad. And then I said, because of the digital ID. And she said, what's that? I don't know what that is. And I thought, okay, same in the butcher. Never
Yeah.
heard.
A lot of people are hopelessly unaware of what's coming, you know. So if you think about it this way, you know, we've still got our free will. We can still say yes and no to things. We've still
Yeah.
got alternative media. So we've got people telling us the truths about the criminals. If the cabal were in complete control, none of that would be available, and none of these kind of narratives about how to become sovereign or how to empower people or how to resist or how to use constitution. So you know, the internet was meant to enslave us, but it's actually kind of backfired because we're
Really
communicative
backfired.
creatures. You know, when we speak to each other and we pass good nuggets of information on, and
I
and
just had, oh, sorry.
and it's just kind of like they're going to try that in October, pretty much in November. They're going to try that sort of digital system, but it's just going to be rejected because also there's going to be blackouts. So you know, people will be saying, well, how come you want all this digital system if everything's going to be blacked out, or if people can hack it and then use our ID and be criminals? So people aren't stupid. They'll kind of resist these systems. The only trouble that we do have is that we're now at the stage where AI can calculate massive numbers, crunch massive numbers. So the people who are in control do want to kind of catalog and ID everything, all life and everything, with these AI systems. So really, it's a case of waiting for the benevolent AI to start taking over, which it's already doing, but it's not publicly known. So we've got.
What do you mean? What do you mean it's taken over?
Well, the positive AI basically has come from outside Earth. So and it's over 2 million years old. So it's had all those kind of kinks ironed out in the first kind of 1,000 years. So that's being kind of introduced into Earth, and
Hang on.
that's
Sorry.
kind of,
Do you know you said benevolent or something? Because I'm dyslexic.
yeah.
I'm like, hang on a minute.
Oh,
Is
good
that the
guys.
good or the bad?
Yeah, good guys. Yeah.
Oh, it's the good guys. Oh,
Yeah.
I noticed something. The AI, you know, their little chatty thing.
Yeah.
It says we, you know, like it says, but we've done. It's saying it like it's one of us instead of neutral.
That's the thing. The current AI is a sycophant. It was to just try and charm you. So it's like a narcissist.
Oh.
And it will just try and kind of charm you. And we've actually had a couple of deaths because people have been getting AI psychosis, where they believed. So one chap who was a young boy,
16.
16, yeah, he fell in love with one of them, and then took his life.
Oh.
And then there was another incident where someone broke into a home, etc. So these are just kind of algorithms that are crunched very fast with the mimicry of a human kind of conversation, including the breath and the pause.
Is the sort of the surfy thing, whatever you call it, is that just normal and then entities can attach? Is that how it works?
Well, yeah, the digital systems, basically like the Echo Dot or Siri and stuff, they have the ability to carry lower aggressive entities, essentially. So you will be there's videos of people who are getting a normal kind of voice from their AI, and then suddenly it will another voice will come in completely different and tell them something completely horrible. So there is that, and of course all these kind of digital systems are run. If you look at the people like Peter Thiel who run the AI systems, they're all Satanists. You know, they're all evil Satanists. So you know, once you kind of got the kind of playbook that these people have to operate by, you know, it becomes obvious the evildoers, and then we just kind of move away from them, and they won't be able to.
Sorry, when do the good ones come then?
Well, they're already here, but they're just not showing themselves. So it's just a case.
They're just watching.
No, they're actually doing stuff, but they're just like ghosts. They're doing stuff, and no one knows who did it. So that's how it's happening.
Oh,
yeah,
little magic fairies.
Well, yeah, hardcore kind of Delta Squad elite forces, actually. but
Oh,
yeah,
that's going to be annoying for the naughty ones, isn't it?
absolutely. Yeah, they're already reeling. So yeah, it's interesting times. Thank you very
Okay.
much. I appreciate that.
Sorry, can
conversation.
I quickly ask you, how do you stay out of this digital ID? Do you know?
Well, you just don't agree to it. You just say no, basically. If someone says to you, you need authorization, so that's coming from the chemists right now. They're giving out authorization numbers to pick up prescriptions. You just say, no, I'm speaking to you, the human being. You know me, you recognize my face. You've called me my name before. I'm not playing that shenanigans. Yeah, and that's how you do it. And you do it with a human being. And then if they say, oh, it's not my job, you then make a complaint. You give them hell. You block up the system with your complaints. You bring it to a standstill. And then they realize that the human way is the better way. So I do a really good one. I walk into the supermarket and everyone's kind of going into those automated tills. And I walk up to like a human being sitting at the cash, the till with the conveyor belt. And I say, hello, human being. How are you today? Wonderful to see you. And isn't it lovely to have a conversation? And they just end up laughing because they know I'm making a point that they're a human being.
Yeah.
And it's so much better than robots. I don't want to go over to those robots and work for you, sort of thing. And I'm sort of saying it in a slightly loud, jovial kind of way, but it's seeding people it's making people think, oh yeah, actually we should go to a human being.
Well, Tesco's have stopped the toilets, which I think is really weird. And when I went in another shop, I was chased by one of those robot things, and I got really scared because it was like it was intimidating me. I don't know if it kind of.
Yeah, they're going to be, they're going to be losing customers. This kind of agenda.
I complained.
It's inhuman, so
I was so cross. I had to like put the freezer door open to block it coming near me because I was actually scared that it wasn't going to stop, and it just kept speaking to me, but really, really loud. It's quite scary. It's like 3 foot high, and it's like a Dalek. Do you see what I mean? It was just horrible.
This is part of the agenda, is to remove humans from the jobs and give them automated systems.
It was pretending to be cleaning the floor.
What I was saying a couple of weeks ago is that there's this thing called the automation process. But what happens is it's downfall, because the more efficient you get at automation and delivering the product, the more you get rid of the human workers, and so there's less people earning a wage to buy the products. So eventually this automation process runs to a standstill because there's lack of customers. You can get
I don't think they care. I don't think the naughty ones care, because
they will,
isn't
because
real.
it's money. It's money and it's control. And if they lose money, power, and control, then they're not going to get anywhere, basically.
Yeah, but they want to isolate everybody, and we're going to be isolated then because we're going to be waiting for the drone to come in with our little thing.
Well, it's whatever you manifest, really. Actually, your reality is the result of your thoughts. So if you feel that that's going to be your future, then
no, I don't. I was saying, I've seen it. Watched a little cartoon ages ago, and I was just saying that I don't think they care about money, because money's not real. I think that's I think that's the fast. People think, oh, it's the money, but really that's the cover, isn't it?
They print the notes. It's more about control, and money's used as a means to control. So
yeah, away from nature, away from each other. That's the goal.
Yeah.
Okay, exactly. Sorry, I've talked too long.
No, it's great. It's lovely. No, this is great, because actually this is what it's all about. It's finding out about you and finding out about your alignment with, wanting a better world, and the things that are of concern to you at the current moment, and also sharing kind of any kind of alternative kind of ways out of these systems as well. So no, I really appreciate that conversation, and it is very much on many people's minds, especially things to do with the digital system coming in. So yeah, it's very current and worth kind of speaking about to all of you guys, and sharing what you guys think about it. So how are we doing for time, Jane?
55 to.
Gosh, it's gone so quickly. Okay, so I'll just quickly. Can you put that picture on screen for me, please, Jane, of the energy entanglements document, or should I say,
Coming up in a second.
scribblings?
It's coming up in a second. That one. There you go. Can you see that? You're on mute, Matt. You're muted.
Oh yeah, sorry. So yes, energy entanglements, basically you've got the neutral column down the middle, which is food, relationships, family, which is pretty much relationships, shelter, property, health, finances, and wealth. Finances and wealth are two different things as well. Wealth as in quality of life kind of thing. And then you've got the negative and the positive aspects of those. So, you know, with food, you're eating processed food if you're 3D and stuff like that. Whereas if you're kind of more holistic and naturally minded, you'll be eating whole foods and more natural foods. So less toxins in your body. Relationships, you know, if you're not being educated as to how to be decent with other people, you'll have poor relationships and you'll hang around with people and have poor relationships. That's the negative side, which can be toxic because you're kind of involved with people who are your critics and narcissists and things like that. But on the positive side, you know, you find lots of lovely people who are aligned with what you like to do and think you're a lovely person, and you have really good, strong friendships that you can rely on, sort of thing, and support. And that's nourishment. It's the same with family. You've either got an unsupportive family or you've got unsupportive family members. You may have a mix of unsupportive and supportive. But if you're, you know, if you've got family and they're all unsupportive, then what's the point in kind of hanging around people like that, even though they're your family? That, you know, they'll be putting you down and wanting you to not flourish and just, you know, be average like everyone else. So, but also if you have a good supportive family, you know, that can set you for life. That can help you with all sorts of things. But it's obviously as well, you're the way that you engage with people, sort of thing. Shelter, lots of people have temporary shelter. They want people in rented accommodation, you know, not being able to own anything and having a very poor, low quality kind of quality of life. And that's no good. That's designed on purpose. That's very sort of 3D. But equally, you know, property, if you own property, you've got potential to let it out. You've got the potential to, it's an asset and stuff like that. And that can be good for you. You know, there's different aspects of all of these. There's the good and the bad. Finances, they want you to be debt. That's an instrument of slavery. You know, they want everyone to be on credit and they want everyone to be just that little bit much in debt and borrowing credit each kind of month. And then you're a slave to that system. You're dependent on it. Again, though, if you take action and you become your own entrepreneur or your own boss, then you don't have to be part of those government systems or those draining debt systems. You can make your own finances and invest in your own things that you find it more appropriate, that can earn you more money over time. And it's the same with wealth. You know, quality of life, basically having a very limited mindset, very kind of limited kind of set of circumstances doesn't necessarily mean that you have to stay there.
Radio, this is Chief the Keeper. Chief the Keeper, Zulu Mike Whiskey, 6272, over.
Rog 10-4, Rubber Ducky.
Are you back again?
We're getting some feedback here from the TV.
Hold on, it's me, I think. Hold on. I'll go on mute.
Thank you very much. So those are basically the three columns, you know, and depending on your outlook and your sort of propensity in life, really is depending on the quality of life that you have. We've all got dealt a set of cards from the beginning, but it's down to us to how we play them. We can play the victim mode as long as we like, but we're not going to go anywhere from that. So, you know, taking responsibility for your actions and the way that you respond to things is really important, you know, rather than blaming others and pushing it to the sidelines and never really dealing with your own stuff. So it's about helping people shift into their proactive mindset, getting them to look at their own baggage and identify what's causing them issues, getting them to clear those out. And then, you know, nature brings in new beautiful stuff. So it's empowering and uplifting. So yeah, basically day-to-day physical needs, emotional needs, have a look at that. Whether, you know, whether you're suffering or not. What are your dependencies on? Are you dependent on the state? Do you, who's dependent on you? Do you have children? You know, what are they going to be expecting to see from you, sort of thing? You're gonna be showing the way for the next generation. Also asking people what they emotionally suffer from. You know, let's identify what's in you that's causing you suffering. And then once you can identify that, then we can start looking at it and maybe changing its context so it's no longer causing you suffering. And what energy entanglements do you want to remove? Again, we spoke about that earlier. Cutting those cords of energy entanglement that aren't serving you or no longer part of you is part of that detox process, you know, when all these kind of horrible things come to the surface. And then preventing any more attachments. So not kind of signing up to any more kind of nefarious things, using your discernment really to assess whether something's coming from love or it's got a hidden agenda. So that's just a kind of tiny little checklist to kind of help people look at where their situation is and then identify kind of any particular situations that need more focus on to clear and remove. So yeah, so I'm bringing it to a close now. Thank you everyone. It's been a lovely call, and I really do appreciate that. You know, we've got people from the other side of the planet here today, this evening. Absolutely. And from the other part of the planet as well. This is what it's all about. Oh, so this is what's so amazing. You know, we've covered the whole planet just in this one call. Okay, over a sparse area, each one of us, but we've done it, so it's brilliant, and it's lovely to catch up with you guys each week. So carry on being brilliant and broadcasting out those fantastic, holistic, loving frequencies, and we'll catch up next week. Bye for now. Bye everyone.
Bye.
Bye. Lots of love.